All right, dudes. So I just want to give you a heads up before we actually get into the video. We ended up getting frozen out at the end of the video. It was like 35-mile-per-hour gusts of wind, and it was absolutely insane. I mean, I can't even explain to you how cold it was. So what I'm gonna end up doing is, instead of doing a part 2 to this video, where we go ahead and do another day of fishing and then make a full fishing video, I thought it'd be cool to do a primitive fire and do a little bluegill cooking over the fire. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it into that video, and yeah, you'll see me flay up the bluegill, and we're gonna go ahead and cook them over a primitive fire that I build over here. So yeah, should be pretty cool, and I'll get back to you guys with the video now, and you'll see a montage of us loading the vehicle to head out fishing. So boys, we're heading out today again to the Madison Chain to give it a new try. Last time it wasn't so great, as you saw. Had a few fish, had some fun, but we didn't even have an auger. So we got an auger today. Hopefully it's a little better. Yeah, it's what, about 5 degrees. Feels like negative with the wind chill. So hopefully we get on the fish, and you guys will see us when we're at the lake. We're gonna go ahead and try this hole. Got one little gill down here, but I'm thinking that it's gonna be good if we can find a hole prior to setting up. Obviously, that's gonna be our best bet. So we're gonna try this hole and see if it can produce 1 or 2 more. Come on, buddy. Come up. Come up and feed. Yeah, there he is. There he is coming up. All right, he's there. Got him. There we go. Nice little gill for sure. So yeah, might be a good little place to set up for sure. Guess we'll see. But we'll be back with you guys once we got a shanty set up somewhere. All right, boys, so we're all set up now. I tried a little light presentation over here, and they were looking at it. They were coming up, but they weren't biting. So I'm switching up to a little black with a little red spike, and we're gonna see. Hopefully the dark presentation is what they're looking for, and hopefully I figured it out. If not, it is what it is. We'll keep messing around, but just gotta figure out what they want, because they're here right now, and it's about noon, so you know, the little afternoon lull where they slow down could be what we're hitting. But oh, he came up hot. Alright boys, so that wasn't ideal, was it, Jake?
Nah, not really.
Didn't have a crazy amount of luck out there, so it was a toss-up between Mud Lake and Kaganza. And I know Mud Lake could be good, but it's a good little trek back in there, so it's one of those things where it's either gonna pay off and be great, or if it sucks, you're not gonna make it anywhere else. So I think we're gonna try Kaganza. honestly. And yeah, we're just gonna see how Kanganza goes and get back to you guys. And I guess the next time you see us, hopefully we're on fish. But if we're back in the car, then I got bad news. It didn't go so hot. So yeah, we'll see you guys when we get there. All right, boys, so the last clip you saw, we were out at the lake, and obviously, as you saw, it got too windy and we left. It's been a few days now, but I'm home, and we're gonna get into this stuff with campfire and getting these bluegill cleaned up, and yeah, gonna have a fun time. So let's get on to it. The first part to making a successful fire is you gotta have a good base here, and with the snow, it's not obviously a good base, so I'm gonna make a little montage here of me scooping away some snow and making a good spot for us to build the fire. So yeah, let's get started. All right, boys, so let's get started with getting some material for the fire. And I'm gonna get back to you guys once I got a good pile built up over here. So yeah, see you shortly. Be good. Let's just cut it at the base. So boys, we got our sticks here and get the smaller stuff. We got the dog. I don't know if you saw it run by, dogs outside, but get the smaller twigs here. Got our bigger stuff here. So we're gonna go ahead and try to turn this right here into smaller stuff like this. And yeah, thought you guys would like to watch that, but that's what we need for the fire. So we're just gonna take our hatchet here and kind of split at it a little bit. Got a little knot here in this. So we're gonna have to go at it a few times. Maybe I can flip it, it'll be a little bit easier. I wonder, let's try that. Yep. All right, yeah, let's hit it one more time down. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try hitting it like this. There we go. Got our two pieces like that. And then hopefully from here, we can obviously set it like this and voila. Get your better stuff for fire. So that's what you're gonna want, is that stuff right there. Boom, a little bit. And yeah, I say we split one more and then we can get to building the fire. There we go. So yeah, got our stuff here. Now it's time to build the fire. It is now time to start making the fire. Obviously we got this here that we just cut up, as you see. And then this is something we make. It's a little survival ball, and I carry them in all my packs. It's actually the lint from the drying machine, and you put it in an egg carton and then put some wax on it, and it's really, really good at holding all that in there and making a good fire starter that stays and burns for a while. And some paper towel to go with that. And then on top of that, we got our sticks over here. So I'm gonna break these sticks up so we have little stuff to get it started. And then we're just gonna see what we can do from here to get this fire going, so we can get cooking these fish. I think I'm gonna start, obviously, what I wanna do for my fire. I think I wanna start with the log cabin base. It's always Mr. Reliable, always is really good at getting these fires going, and doesn't normally let me down much. I'll put this flat in the bottom here so that the sparks can stay on top of there and not fall down in. And then what we're gonna do is go up one more time like this, right here. And we shove enough other small stuff in there to keep it going. So I'm gonna get this lighter out I got. See if we can get this baby going. Gotta hope this stuff I got should be dry enough and dead enough. Obviously, if not, I can always get more, but I think the stuff here that I picked should be great. Keep breaking this up here. It's always important to have enough ready to go because you don't know how it's going to go when you start this fire. It could go great and it could start really rough. It's really hard to know each time what's going to happen. So I'm going to start by getting a little bit of stuff up in there. Like this. And we're going to throw this baby right there. And hopefully, once it gets lit, we can add our little things to it like that. So let's light it from down here. I gotta move this for a second. The wind's pretty bad. Hopefully we have enough small stuff here to keep this thing going. Obviously I always try to prep enough, but it's hard to know how it's going to always catch. It's always a toss-up. So you'd much rather be over-prepared than under-prepared whenever it comes to that, obviously. So we're just going to keep adding little things. Maybe give it a light little blow like that and see how it goes. She looks like she's catching pretty well so far. Let's just sit tight and see what happens. But yeah, looks pretty good. I'll get back to you guys once it's up and going well. All right, boys, so the fire's starting to go pretty well. So while this gets started, let's go ahead and go find some sticks to cook our bluegill on. I'm gonna go ahead and grab ourselves this branch right here. Start the base and just 2 sticks that I want to use right here. I'm going to go ahead and get them ready. Just do our little bit of sharpening to them. Now obviously, here, let me snap this one right here. There we go. And obviously, you know, this will take a little bit of time for me to go ahead and do. So I won't sit here and film the whole thing. Otherwise you guys would get pretty bored, but see what I'm doing here. I'm just going to slowly work down until I have a tip. And then once I have that tip, I will come back to you guys and we'll start cooking these fish over the fire. So yeah, I'll see you guys in about 15 minutes or so. Maybe 10. So we are now going to go ahead and get the fish prepped to go on the fire. So let's get started with that. How I'm going to do them, normally I would flay them, you know, but because we're doing them over the fire, I think I'm going to go ahead and cook them whole. Just be careful here. Actually, it's a little harder. Right there with the bones. It's going to come up like that. And then this head here, cut down through and remove that all the way to that fin is what I like to do personally, like that. Obviously you can discard the head and then come up through here like this and follow. I like to follow right up to the tail like that. Then it makes it fairly easy to obviously to pull all the guts out here. Like that. And obviously you want to clean that thorough. After I'm done showing you how to do this, I'll go inside and clean these, of course, but it's pretty simple. And obviously also another thing you want to do here is go ahead and descale them like this. And then obviously you can see now, once they're descaled, man, they are pretty simple to eat. So yeah, now that I got this guy done, I'm gonna go ahead and do this guy here, and then I'll be back at you with the finished product in a second. All right, dudes, so we got the fire going, so let's get these fish on there. Got them all cleaned up nicely right here. It's the finished product. So let's throw them on a little skewer. Here's what I got done. I'm gonna do them like this. I think I'm gonna put it up through the back fin like that. And then obviously the ground's frozen, so I don't think it's gonna stick in too well, unfortunately. So I may have to sit here and hold them. I'm not sure how this is gonna work with the ground situation, but we're gonna go with it and see what happens. Maybe we can dig out a little hole. No, I don't think that's gonna work, unfortunately. Huh. Here, you know what? Let's do this. I got an idea. 1 second, boys. So here's what we got going, boys. Sometimes you gotta improvise. So I took a log and I put both fish over the log like this. And it's gonna support it. So yeah, let these cook a little bit. And while these cook, why don't I go ahead and tell you a story. So while we wait, I'll tell you a little story. And this is a funny story of a time I went turkey hunting with my buddy Max. And I think you're gonna like this story for sure. But I own, well, I should say my family owns some land up near Richland Center that we hunt a lot. And obviously, being from around there, you know, they got coyotes, there's a few bears, deer, all sorts of different animals. And this particular story happened, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, turkey hunting in May. I want to say beginning of May. Yeah, it was beginning of May, late April. But me and a buddy, we got up early and we decided to go ahead and go chase after some turkeys. So we got blinds on the hill, and night before we get ready, you know, we get all our gear ready. We're pretty excited, and yeah, so we wake up the next day and we go up the hill. And you know, I want to say at this point we were 14, 15 years old, so we were younger dudes, but definitely old enough to be hunting on our own and enjoying ourselves. So we're heading up, and we were gonna sit separate, but we decided last minute we're gonna sit together. You know, makes the hunt more fun. So we get to the upper blind, and funny enough, when we got up there, there was one chair. And you know, we're younger and stuff, so neither of us really wanted to be the one to go get the other chair all the way at the other end of the field in the dark. But my buddy Max is like, all right, I need a chair, I'm gonna go get one. So he starts heading over to get a chair, and I see this light, and it's walking through the field, his light, you know, over to the blind, and I'm dilly-dallying around, and I'm getting stuff ready, and, you know, taking my time. And all of a sudden, I look over there, and I see, like, just a light coming flying through the field towards me, and I'm like, well, something's weird. Something isn't right. But I didn't think much of it, but then all of a sudden, I hear, Tristan! 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 And he's yelling, so I'm like, get a gun! Get a gun! So I grab my shotgun and I run towards him. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, something's growling. So we go back to our blind. Point in mind, he didn't have a chair, to say the least, he didn't have a chair. But he ended up sitting on the ground, and he told me when he went over to the blind, he went in to get the chair, and all of a sudden he hears and heard growls, and he was quite confused. Obviously, he was quite confused as to why he was hearing growls. So, you know, I obviously am just as confused as him, and I'm like, what was it? And he's like, I don't know, dude. And he said as he would try to go towards the door, it'd get louder. So to this day, we're not really sure what it was, but man, was it funny to see him come running through that field yelling my name. I didn't know what was going on. I was uber confused, to say the least, man. It was a good memory of one of many that I've had over the years, but yeah, I thought you'd appreciate that. So it's a little story time, and I'll get back to you guys after these fish are done and we'll give them a try. We got our finished product right here. As you can see, they're still steaming. They just came off the fire, but yeah, looks crispy, looks pretty good. So obviously we can use the hatchet here, cleaned it off a little bit, you know, cook it down one more time to be safe, and peel back some of that skin, and look at that. Look at that fresh meat in there. Oh man, it looks good. So let's give it a try and see how it turned out. Watch out for the bones, but yeah. Oh yeah, that's good bluegill right there. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna scoff this down, and I appreciate you guys for watching and joining me on this adventure, and hopefully we'll catch you for the next one.
Feels good to be